Hey, Dan from Michigan here again. Just wanted to take a little time today to talk about a trip that we took on Amtrak and just kind of let people know, was it worth it? What's the value in it? Where we went? How did it go? How did the people treat you? Just what it was overall like. And it was, to start off the video real quick, it was good. It was good. It all starts with booking the trip, right? So first of all, you've got to take the time to go ahead and get online and see where you're going and book the trip. And we went in the fall, okay? So it was, the colors and stuff was kind of getting near the end. I think it was in October. Yeah, October we went. So it was a good time to go. I think price wise, maybe it was more expensive in the summer. I don't know because I didn't really check it out. But why are so many people using Amtrak? And there was a lot of people on the train, both trains. So I'll start out by telling you, first of all, round trip for both of us. Once we got to everything settled up, not with a sleeper car, and I'll talk about that later, but not with a sleeper car. It was $170 each way for the two of us. Now, obviously, those prices can change, so don't hold me to the price. It just depends where you're coming from, where you're going. But it was a good deal, and I thought, can't go wrong with that, right? 340, 350, whatever to go there. So we started in Port Huron, Michigan. If you're familiar with Michigan, we are the Mitten State. So Port Huron starts here, and it went across into Flint and Lansing and down into Indiana, and then over into Chicago. And on this part of the country, everything that's going anywhere far starts in Chicago. So it's a major hub right there. And you can tell when you get there, it definitely is. But the first part of the trip was pretty cool. The train was relatively new, it seemed like, or at least the seats were nice and new. And they had regular seats where you could just sit with you and your partner and be by yourself. They had seats facing each other where if you had four of you could sit and talk with each other. And they actually had some tables where you could sit around the table and like a bench and be able to talk with each other as well. So it was pretty nice. Plenty of windows. You're up a little bit, right? So you can see things even higher than like a bus. And the other thing was too is that the the train where we went, we took the northern route. You could have gone out of Detroit, which is kind of the southern route in Michigan, but we took the northern route, which went to a lot of country. And on top of that, there were times when we were going 100 miles an hour, which was kind of cool. I opened up my Google map and put in there to Chicago, and I could see the speed we were going. I'm sure there's other apps that you might be able to use for that. But we actually were hitting 100 miles an hour on some of the open straights, which was pretty cool. I didn't know the trains really went that fast. And for the most part, it only went that fast while we were in Michigan. We never actually got that fast again when we got out of the state. So it's a commuter train. A lot of people going to work, going home, going to school, different things. So you could tell there was a lot of regular people on there, but there were people going to Chicago just like we were to be able to get off there and go to different places from there. Now, we were going to the hot air balloon show in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is like the biggest hot air balloon show in the world, I believe. Over 500 balloons. And we were excited about getting there, right? But you stop in Chicago, it's a beautiful train station, very large, nice area to sit and talk with other people or by yourself, whatever you choose. And there was plenty of restaurants, places to go, not necessarily restaurants, but places where you could buy food and eat in the courtyard and stuff. And there was some good food. It had some good choices of food. So you get pretty much whatever you want there, whether it be a salad or pizza. Okay. So it was really good. So we get to Chicago, and from Chicago, then we're going to get on the Southwest Chief. And that goes from Detroit or from Chicago all the way to LA. But we were getting off in Albuquerque. And so that was a good day and a half trip. and from when we started. And then we did not get a sleeper car. All right. So we decided we're going to just try sleeping in the seats. And frankly, they're wide seats. They have footrests that come up. And if you're not too tall, I'm guessing, you can sleep in there. It was fairly comfortable. Unfortunately, we had somebody that decided to stay up half the night and talking into his phone and having his speaker phone on. He's playing video games and stuff. And that kind of kept us up. So would I do it again in the seats? No, I would get a sleeper car. What would be the difference? It was a difference of about $700 to have the sleeper car. But you got your own privacy. You got an actual bed to sleep in, place to shop, clean up. So very nice. They got two different types of sleeper cars. One is smaller than the other, but they're both very nice. I talked with a gentleman just recently who was going from Detroit all the way to Oakland, California. And he was going to go on the Zephyr, which goes actually through the Rocky Mountains. It's a 2.5-day trip. And he got a sleeper for himself, just himself, for $700 going across. So not a bad deal. Sometimes you can't fly for that cheap going across either. So it was really well worth it. On the trip from Detroit, I'm sorry. On the trip from Detroit, it's, like I said, a commuter car, but on the trip from Chicago, you now have a long train that's going cross country, and they have a couple little spots where you can get food downstairs. You're actually on the second level, is where our room was. There are ones below as well. And the sleeper, there's a, what do they call it? I'm drawing a blank right now. The car that it's all glass, and you observation car, and you can sit there and play cards or games, whatever. And a lot of people were doing that. What surprised me, and I don't know, it's the time of year or that particular trip or whatever, but we could have sat in that room all day long, and we did a lot of times because we wanted to see all the views. And it was so nice to be able to just sit there and not be like kicked out because there's, a timing on it. And they kind of told you that might be the way it is, but it wasn't. So we were able to sit there and enjoy it. There's a little kitchen downstairs. You can go get stuff. We brought food with us, but eventually we ran out. And so we would buy some things from downstairs. Food was good. Service was great. People were very friendly as far as the ones that worked there, which again was a little surprising, but I guess not too surprising. And then we eventually got to Albuquerque, which was a smaller station, but it was nice there too. And we were able to get where we wanted to go from there, from Albuquerque, and take an Uber or Lyft. They're both available there, so you can get there. As well as in Port Huron and Detroit, those kind of things are available. Definitely in Chicago. But, we had a couple hour layover in Chicago from the Detroit trip. So it was plenty of time for us to get off and enjoy a little bit of food and actually walk around outside a little bit. So just depends what you like. The idea of taking a train trip to us was a little scary because we've never really done it, but it was well worth it. It was fun. We met other people. We were able to talk and play games and walk around through the different cars. I think there was like 4 cars on this one or something. And so you can kind of walk in between them. And felt like you're in a movie a little bit. But leaving the driving to them, relax, sit back and enjoy the ride, see all the views. The views from here were great. There was a lot, we were going in the fall, which a lot of the green was already gone. Maybe a little bit more prettier in the spring or summer. But if you're going to think about what really good one, then you want to take the California Zephyr. I think it's called the California Zephyr, that goes through the middle of the country and into the Rockies and stuff. But you can find plenty of videos on that stuff, right? We had a really good time. We enjoyed it. It was relaxing both ways. There are delays at times, and we had some big, long delays from trains either being cargo trains that were holding us up because they would hold you up. There was a train broke down for a while. But what are you going to do? just allow for that. Make sure that you're not worried too much about time getting there. When we left Port Huron, we were the starting point. So that was nice. And then when we got to Chicago, like I said, we had a couple hours of layover. So if you're thinking about taking a train, I would recommend it, okay? If you're going to take a long one, if you're older like us, and you don't really, you want to make sure you get your sleep, why not? If you can do it, get the sleeper car. If you can't, well, that's okay. Seats are comfortable. You just might have a little difficulty sleeping, just being out of your element, right? Other than that, it was a great trip. If you've been on a trip like this before, I hope you'd comment in here. Let me know what you thought. Did you do the same trip? Would you do a sleeper car again? What were the pros and cons for you? We actually had a meal at one point in the area that's part of the sleeper car. They get free meals. So whenever they had openings, they would say, well, if you want to come over and have dinner or lunch or whatever, we had breakfast on our way back. And it was really nice. Tablecloths and cloth napkins, and service was great. Food was a little unique, so it was nice. It was nice. We enjoyed that. And that also was another thing. But obviously you can bring a lot of your own food with you if you like on the train. If you got any other questions, like I said, put them in the comments. We'll be glad to answer them for you. If you haven't already liked and subscribed to my channel, I hope you will. But if you want to share this information with somebody else, that'd be awesome too. So good talking to you. Have a phenomenal day.